Now, this is day 2 of the lockdown in South Africa. The government ministers are holding a press briefing shortly in Pretoria, or rather, that briefing has just concluded, just briefing the public about the measures to flatten the curve of COVID-19 under this period. Let's now cross to our reporter Samkele Maseko for an update. Samkele, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We've seen various ministers within the National Command Council just sharing with them their packages of the state of readiness for their various departments on how to curb the spread of COVID-19. What was significant that came out of it?
The significance that came out of this particular briefing by the social cluster ministers of the Command Council looking into the coronavirus is essentially the plans they've put in place, particularly around human settlements by the Minister of Human Settlements and Water and Sanitation, that would be Lindiwe Sisulu, on the various measures they've put in place for people to get water tankers in obscure rural communities, and how the Department of Higher Education is putting measures in place for students in higher education to receive e-learning through and assisting one another electronically, and also the Minister of Social Development, the measures that they've put in place for those who may not have homes and who are street kids, particularly which shelters they are going to, issues facing SASA and those particularly within the elderly community in the country. But I'm going to bring in the Minister in the Presidency, Jackson Mthembu, just to further elaborate briefly on some of the measures that they are doing to communicate on this particular COVID-19 virus with the public, and what South Africans can look forward going into the days to come of the second day of the lockdown instituted by President Ramaphosa. I must also practice social distancing with the minister. So yes, that's fine. I can interview you now, Minister Mthembu. What are the measures that you are putting in place, Minister?
Before we speak to the measures that we are putting in place, let's applaud the SABC for making access to all our people to any messaging that relates to COVID-19. Because indeed you have said that you'll make available the free-to-air channels so that all our people will then have access to the briefings that we give here, and not only rely on the pay channel 404. We want to applaud you. We want to applaud our leaders at SABC, the board, the executive. This is indeed something that is worth being ululated. Coming to your question, yes, we are going to bump up our communication now. You will see the president also coming on advert space, speaking on that people must indeed stay at home and explaining why. So you'll have many other leaders from churches, leaders from sports fraternities, and again, even some influential people from the arts fraternity coming in to say, people, let us all stay at home. So that's how we're going to bump our communication. But besides that, you'll see outdoor boards coming up now, again with the message for people to stay at home and observe this social distancing and wash their hands. Of course, we have put a lot of pamphlets in our localities. We are going to do more, to put more pamphlets to our communities. Of course, we are also going to ensure that there is loud hailing in all our communities so that our people, all of them, there shouldn't be a single South African who doesn't know that we must act in unison to save not only our lives, but the lives of others as well.
Minister, I'm sure you've heard in Tzaneen, one individual who had tested positive for the COVID-19 virus had left the particular area where he was riding in around the suburban areas of Limpopo, went home to the rural parts of Tzaneen. What is government saying about this particular individual who's been apprehended and arrested for going to the rural areas despite knowing that he's positive with COVID-19?
We are saying those who know that they are positive should indeed do what is right. What is right is that you need to be quarantined or self-quarantined. You can't, when you know very well that you are positive, deliberately and consciously want to go and infect others. So we are very happy that the police have arrested this person, because indeed he was endangering other people, endangering South Africans. So he deserves what he has got. He deserves to be arrested because he has acted irresponsibly, and in fact he has acted criminally. We are saying to all those who have tested, and if you have not received your test results, just stay put until you receive your test results, so that you will then know what is the cause of action that you need to take. And in most instances, when you know that you have tested positive, you need to be quarantined. You need to be assisted to be quarantined. If you don't know, you can't quarantine yourself in your own house. Get in touch with government. Government will assist you to get a place where you can be quarantined. We have a number of places now that we have made available as the government for those that do not have a place to self-quarantine themselves, where they can then be quarantined. But we agree with you. That gentleman should have done the right thing, and the police did the right thing by arresting him.
Minister, in Umlazi earlier today, as the SABC Channel 44 were showing visuals of the younger generation, younger people, younger men sitting on the streets, having their liquor. What is government doing in an area that is highly populated like Umlazi? You've got about 350,000 people staying in that particular township, which you have yourself, doing your ANC work in your other cap, have done in that particular municipality. What is government doing to ensure that these young individuals who are drinking away their liquor in the streets drink it behind closed doors?
Before I speak to your question, let's first thank the many millions and millions of South Africans who are drinking behind closed doors, who have observed and heeded the call by the president and all of us to stay home. So many South Africans are staying home. Yes, there'll be those few, like the ones that you are mentioning now. We would like to say to them, by the way, these measures are not meant for others. They are meant for all of us to observe, so that we save lives, so that ourselves we don't get infected or contract this disease and also transmit this disease to others. This disease kills. This coronavirus kills. That's what we would like to say to those people in Umlazi, that this disease, this coronavirus kills. When you go out and drink, you will go out, drink, collect this disease, collect this virus, and bring it to your house. Bring it to your loved ones. Bring it to your mother. Bring it to your family. Bring it to your wife. Bring it to your husband. It's not a wise thing to do. Let's just heed the call made by the president that let's stay at home, because when you stay at home, when you don't go gallivanting and drinking everywhere, you will not then go and fetch the disease from outside and bring it to your house. When you are at home, this disease can't walk to your house. But when you walk out of your house, you will walk in with this disease when you come back. We are saying to our people in Umlazi and anywhere else, please, it's a request, it's an appeal from government. Let's stay at home for very good reasons, to save our lives and to save lives of those that are dear to us, that are loved by us.
Thank you very much, Babu Mvelase, the Minister in the Presidency, and thank you for your communication and being frank and open when it comes to this COVID-19. It's very rare that you find a government being very open and communicating and informing the nation as regularly as Babu Mvelase here is doing as the Minister in the Presidency, and calling all of these ministers to come and account to the nation on this particular pandemic of COVID-19.
All right, Samkele, thank you so much for your update. We'll certainly touch base with you a little later on. That was our reporter, Samkele Maseko. He's just spoken to the Minister in the Presidency, Mr. Jackson Mthembu.